What's up, guys? Welcome to Training for Warriors Ropestone. I'm Ken Stabler. I'm going to take you through the Imagine Abs series. Now, I call it Imagine Abs because we all want them. But are you willing to do the work to get there? All right? I believe that the plank variations are the best way to strengthen your core. You might not see the results as far as the six-pack goes, but you got to get strong first. So I'm taking you through 7 variations of the plank. Alright guys, so in my last video I talked about actually how to set up for the plank, set up for the push-up actually, but the plank is the same thing. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. This time I'm going to go right into the single leg plank, alright? So I'm going to set up nice and tight by stepping back, nice and tight in the legs, squeezing my quads, squeezing my butt, get my plank nice and tight. I'm just going to raise one leg up, alright? Instantly I feel it start shaking, my butt's tight, I'm going to come down, rotate, so you do even amount of time on both sides. Alright guys, so I'm going to go from single leg to single arm plank variations. Now the single arm is a lot harder. You're going to want to spread your base out a little bit, so legs a little bit wider. Spread your base out, lock your legs in so you're tight in the hip flexors right here, and you're going to raise an arm up. You can go raise an arm up front. Alright, so all different variations of the single arm plank. Again, it's going to require a lot more stability in the hip flexors, which is part of the core. It's a very important part. So make sure you stabilize that nice and wide base. Okay, let's add in a little activity. So now we're going to go from just raising a limb up to actually moving the limbs back and forth. We're going to go shoulder taps. Again, the objective for this one is going to be for the hips to move as little as possible side to side. That means you have a locked core, right? So if I'm just tapping like this, right, it's more of a shoulder exercise than it is for a core exercise. But if my hips are stable and I'm trying to tap and they don't move, then you're going to feel a lot in the abs. So that's the very subtle difference that I see. People are just going crazy trying to go through the motions as opposed to doing it right. Alright guys, so we're going to go from moving the limbs to moving the actual core. So you got to keep it locked. So I'm going to find my plank. It's locked. I'm going to rotate it into side plank, right? But notice that my hips don't drop when I move into my plank, right? So I'm going to rotate the side plank. I'm going to keep it nice and tight so when I come back down, I'm already in plank. I don't have to readjust. When I come back into the side plank over here. Keep your feet spread a little bit. That makes it easier to get to the motions. Remember, when you come back down, that little rotation is still part of the activity. It's not just a gimme where I can just drop down, okay, I'm going to reposition now. You want to be tight the entire way. Alright guys, this next variation is plank with knee to chest or knee to elbow. The knee to elbow is a little bit harder, a little bit wider of a movement. So start off with knee to chest and work your way to knee to elbow. Now, start off in plank, crunch your knee straight in so it's off the ground barely. Back out the plank, right? Crunch your knee in, back out the plank. Knee to elbow is you're coming up higher to the elbow, back down. It's a lot more oblique area. You can try to get it, but make sure you're getting the full range of motion. You're not just staying, like, if you were to come in like this, right, it's more of a poor man's mountain climber than it is an actual crunch. You want to try to get the knee as far forward as possible using your abs. Alright, so this next variation is one of the harder ones. I call it up downs. You're going to start off on a half plank, so you're going to be on your forearms. And the objective is to rise up into full plank by planting your hand underneath your body and pushing up. Right? So coming back down, nice and slow and controlled. Push up, nice and controlled. So when I push up, I immediately push up into my pillar. What you don't want to do is push out like this. Right? That's something completely different. Actually, it's nothing. It's nothing really that you should be doing. It's something that other people do, but we don't do it here. Right? You're going to push up underneath your body. All right, one more time. You're in plank, you're going to come underneath you and push up into a good push-up position. And then control it back down. All right, guys, last one is the long plank. That's what I said, long plank. You're going to walk out as long as possible. It's kind of the precursor to the wheel. But if you can't do the long plank, you should not be doing the wheel. All right? Now the long plank, we're going to start off in plank, right? And we're just going to continue to walk out. Hold your long position, walk it back into plank, lock it in, and then repeat.